Good morning, everyone. Jalapeno Gal back here with another review on two different coloring books by Christina McAllister. This one is Sacred Beauty and the next one is Windows to the Soul, and I will get to that one in a minute. Now, Christina offers this book in an actual book form, or you can have a PDF download so you can print which pages you want and which pages that you don't. Now, I have to say that this lady has got some of the most beautiful artwork that I have seen in a coloring book in a very, very long time. There's a lot of symbolism and grace, knot work in here, tips on how to color images, just a lot of really nice stuff. And I'll show you more detail here in just a second. You can get this book on Amazon for $8.99. Her other book, Windows to the Soul, is $11.99, but there's more pages. I think this one has 24 colored pages, and Windows to the Soul has 30. So it's a couple dollars more, but it's well worth it. And I'll show you some pictures out of this one here in a second as well. Now, the paper is a medium weight paper. It's not super thin like computer paper. It's kind of hefty, so I do like that. The designer has really paid attention to what we want as colorists, and you can see on the back side of each picture is a description for this picture, and it tells you a little bit about it, what it means, the symbolism in that picture, and it also gives coloring suggestions for that piece that you can play with, coloring tips, etc. I'm going to go back to the front of this book because I've never seen this before, and it might just be that I haven't really paid attention, but in this book, she gives us permission here. It says, purchasers of this book may scan and reproduce pages for their own personal coloring use, but not to distribute in any way. So I found that to be fantastic because we don't have to worry about feeling guilty if we scan it instead of buy another copy. And, if the admins of our coloring groups are kind of picky about, reposting, then it's not that big a deal. We have permission. The second page is a few words from the artist, and it goes into telling about this book and her life and how she draws, and etc. Third page, coloring tips. I've kind of highlighted a few that I want to share with you to show you how much this artist cares about us as colorists and the things that, the questions that we ask before we buy a book, because obviously we can't color in the book at the store. So here she says, I've avoided printing art pages back to back to minimize bleed through to the next image. If you're using markers, you may want to slip a piece of cardstock or thick paper behind the page you're working on to make sure the ink doesn't mar the page below. And you go down here, it says, if you have a scanner, you can scan the pages into your computer before coloring. This works best on a laser printer. Please note that you are granted permission to print out additional copies for your own personal use only, not to distribute to others. And you move down here. I recommend colored pencils as these offer precision in small places, a wide range of colors, and are perfect for blending. Using markers for a bolder background coverage and pencils for more subtle blended foreground elements, for example. I encourage you to photograph or scan and share your colored pages online. I would love to see them. You're welcome to post them to my Facebook or fan page or elsewhere on the internet. I do ask that you mention my name, Christina McAllister, and the title of my book in your post. And if you really want to show some love, help share the experience with others and link to my website or to the Amazon.com listing on the book, which, she's going to get that from me right away because I love the fact that she cares about us. Now, I'm going to get into showing you some of these pictures and in the book because they're just fantastic. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful pages. Oops, skip one. I like that. Okay, this page I used Sharpies and Bic markers, and most of us can already tell you that it's going to bleed through. Any alcohol based marker is going to bleed through your pages unless you have some heavy cardstock. So that was not a surprise, I should say. this one, I used Prismacolor color pencils and a couple Crayolas, not too many just because I'm a Prisma snob. I love them. You can see that to me it looks really beautiful, and the blending was really nice. I did use a blender pen on this instead of a blender pencil. Not that the pencil doesn't work, I just don't like the waxiness of it. Now these pages, you know, as I mentioned, they're on a medium weight paper, so they're not super thin. The thing about this paper is it's really smooth. It doesn't have a whole lot of tooth to it. So if you don't really know what you're doing as far as blending, it can be a little difficult to do at first. But like when I was blending on this outer edge right here, for example, and you know, even some of the green here, I was getting some hard lines because there was no tooth to grab the pencil, and it didn't really make that big of a difference once I took that marker over it. You can tell how it smoothed out and blended just fine. So it's not a horrible thing. You can still blend it, you know, just because the paper's smooth doesn't mean you can't blend with the pencil colors. You can. It just depends on how intricate you want to get. I really love this. It's like a mosaic. So anyway, sorry. I love it. It turned out really pretty, I think. I'm sure there's other artists out there that are way more talented than me, but I was really pleased with it. There was a little bit of imprint on the back, but not enough to really care. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's pretty. Let's see. Get to my test page over here. Okay, so, you know, not that it really matters if it bleeds through or not, because like I said, they're one-sided pages. The only thing you really have to worry about with the Sharpies and stuff is if you want to read this, you might want to do it before you color with Sharpies or big markers or alcohol-based markers. But just for video purposes, I'm just going to run through a couple of these really fast. This is the Stabilo fine liner, and this is the Staedtler fine liner, and neither one of those really bled through too bad. It was pretty saturated, so you could see there's a little bit of bleed through, but not like with the alcohol-based markers. This was a Sharpie. That's the alcohol-based marker, so you can tell the difference in the bleed through on that. This and this, whoops, this one and this one are gel pens, and they didn't bleed through at all. And I will admit, as far as markers or gel pens are concerned, I highly recommend the gel pens. They go on so smooth, they cover easily because the paper is so smooth, and it just looks fantastic. I really, really liked it. Now, this one right here was just a generic metallic marker because I wanted to see how the metallics worked. And again, you can see that there's, you know, slight bleed through, not enough to make much of a difference. That one's Sharpie. I think I've already talked about that. So those are pretty much your basic, the most popular markers, I guess. A lot of people use Crayola, which I don't really have on hand, but I would imagine Crayola is going to have about this effect. You know, not that big a deal. Like the author, or like the artist said, just put a piece of paper if you're using marker to protect this picture in case it does bleed through. Okay, and now that I've gone through the pictures in this book, I'm going to switch over to the PDF version of Windows to the Soul that I got. And again, symbolism, grace, very beautiful pictures. This book is $11.99 on Amazon, and again, you can get the PDF download on her Etsy page. ChristinaMcAllister.com will take you to her Etsy page, and I think on Etsy it's Christina McAllister. The PDF was 68 pages, and you know, a lot of us don't want to print that many pages, so you can go and pick which ones that you like and only print that. You don't have to print each and every description on here unless you just really want to. I personally want to because I plan on taking this. I separated them for y'all's purposes so I don't have to go through all of it, but I plan on taking it down to Staples and getting it spiral bound to help protect the pages a little bit. So I'm going to go through some of these. The Windows to the Soul is basically a bunch of masks and eyes, and very intricate work, very pretty. Some more knot work. And there is actually images of men in here as well, men's eyes. And I love how she does the black frame around each one, so if you wanted to frame your artwork, you could. I love that. It reminds me of Gandalf. I don't know why. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm very attached to this lady now. I highly recommend this book. Both of them. On her website, she has like jewelry and all kinds of things. She's very talented. That kind of reminds me of a what is that called? Steamboat punk? Oh, butterflies. I like the idea of the PDFs because you can also get thicker paper if you wanted to print on cardstock and whatnot. You don't have to stick with printer paper. And I'll put some links down in the description to her Amazon and her website, so that if you want these books or if you're interested, you can just click on those links in the description box. And I've also got other reviews on different books on my YouTube page if you guys want to check out some other books as well. But if you're a beginner or if you're advanced or if you're in the middle somewhere, I do highly recommend these books because they're beautiful. They challenge your artistic abilities and they really think outside the box instead of just generic pictures that were thrown together. There's a lot of time and thought put into these. She's amazing. But I guess that's gonna about do it. Like I said, the Sacred Beauty book is $8.99 and the Windows to the Soul is $11.99 on Amazon, or you can go to her website at ChristinaMcAllister.com or her Etsy page. So let me know if you have this book in the comments, what you think about it. You can even go to her Amazon and put some reviews on the books to help her out. I believe in independent artists, and that she is. I like to support independent artists more so than corporate companies because they've already got all their stuff out there. And I think that we need to support our independent artists in this country and help them, give them a foot up. So go check it out. Bye.